welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's so great to have you. Thank you for being here, and as always, I hope you enjoy the show. Well, we're going to highlight something that we've highlighted before. It's been a while, so I'm thrilled that they've come back. We're highlighting the Connecticut Virtuosi Chamber Orchestra, and Adria Sylvine, is the artistic director, is here with us through the wonders of computers. And Rebecca de Almeida, a Brazilian mezzo-soprano, is here with us as well. So I'd like to welcome you both to the show. Adrian, there you are.
I'm here.
Okay, Adrian, what I'd like to do before I talk to Rebecca is introduce both of you to the audience. So why don't you take some time and tell us about yourself? Take us back into your background.
That's a very difficult question because we have to sort of talk nicely about ourselves. But I've been conducting for a very long time, and before that, and I'm still actively performing as a violinist. But opera is one of these sort of areas where for the last 20 plus years I have done things that were interesting not only to me, but I think also to our audiences. As you recall, Debbie, last year we did Pagliacci. We actually spoke about it in this program, so this is a continuation of the same initiative of building or rebuilding the opera scene through our company, through the Virtuosi, and it's called Virtuosi Opera Project now.
Did you know growing up that you wanted to be a conductor?
Well, sort of, but as we all experience and we grow a little older, the thing is that some things we want and some things just happen to us. Mm-hmm. And I felt like conductor is such a it has its charisma for many years. Like I looked up to those people, and Herbert von Karajan, Carlos Kleiber, just to name two of the greatest, and many others who were, and some of them I had a chance to meet in person, like Kurt Masur or Jerry Senkov, people like that. It's the psychology of the conducting, is the trust and the shaping of the event, whether it's an opera, concert, oratorio, what have you. But you are shaping it together with your colleagues, and yet you are responsible. But at the same time, it's sort of magical because you actually don't make any noise if you decide not to speak before the show. So you actually don't make any sound, and yet so much depends on your sort of being, and its gestures and its looks and its psychology, and understanding the psychology of the performer. So it's a fascinating subject.
And Rebecca, I will ask you the same question because I like to introduce the guest to the viewer. What is your background? Tell us what brings you here today.
Thank you for having me, Deborah. So I'm a classically trained pianist, and I came here to the States to do my master's in piano performance. And much like what Adrian said, is like some things we want and some things just happen to us. Singing just happened to me. It was a second career path that God put in front of me when I had a problem in my playing. I had carpal tunnel, tendonitis, and a cyst in my wrist that prevented me from playing for like 2 years. And the doctors wanted me to do surgeries. It was a big issue for me, very difficult to handle at the time. And then I needed to find an outlet for music, for my passion, what I love doing, and I was so connected to my identity, like I couldn't see myself doing anything else. Most people can see themselves doing multiple things, I don't know, but it wasn't my case. So for me, when I stumbled upon singing, was actually in a production of Madama Butterfly Maestro. I don't think you remember that, maybe you do. And I was doing chorus a friend of mine invited me to sing chorus because they needed more people. And then Brunilde Miftaray, the amazing concertmaster of the orchestra, and Maestro noticed me, and they were like, wow, you actually have a voice for main stage, so we knew we need to nourish that. And since then we've been in partnership, and I've been singing with them and growing, and it's been like something that I stumbled upon and I fell in love with, and it was like a even greater love than the one I had for piano, because I also love acting and I love communicating with people. I just haven't yet had the opportunity to access it within me. So that's how I started singing.
And you and I talked before we started taping. You are playing again, is that correct?
Thank God I am playing again.
Tell us what that's all about.
Yeah. So, and I say thank God because it was something I prayed a lot about, and I want to be vocal about the healing that I had, because it was a huge healing, and the doctors were adamant about, you need to do surgery, otherwise the cyst will not go away. I went to 3 different doctors here in the States, and I went to another one in Brazil, and they all said the same thing. But I was very scared. I'm like, if this goes wrong, if the surgery goes wrong, then not only I'm not going to be able to play piano anymore, but it might impair daily activities that I have to do. And I was very, very scared. So I prayed a lot about that. And a teacher, a piano professor at Indiana University, who is a phenomenal pianist, international pianist, Arnaldo Cohen, I reached out to him, I called him. I am very cheeky when I need to. and then he was incredibly generous to me, and he's like, look, I'm going to put you in touch with somebody that I think can help you. And he put me in touch with Edna Golansky in New York, and she teaches something called Taubman technique, which I changed my piano technique over the course of the 2 years. And then after that, the cyst was gone, the tendinitis was gone, the carpal tunnel was gone, and I now play with this new technique and create new habits, right? Because you have to re-educate your body. And thank God, in a way, it was almost like now I have 2 gifts. Before I only had one, and I didn't know I had another.
Yeah.
But now I have 2, and I have had the privilege and the great honor to be able to nourish both of them and multiply them, you know. And with Maestro's help and support and belief in me, like that grew even more.
And Adrienne, why don't we talk about Connecticut Virtuosi Chamber Orchestra? I believe you created it. Tell us what it's all about.
That was a useful project that started almost 30 years ago. And it sort of grew from a local 3 concerts a year sort of thing in New Britain, Connecticut, and now it's about 10 programs a year, and we are performing across the region. We have a program in Italy. It's a labor of love. It's a musical project. It's an orchestra. It's friendships that developed over many years. Mm-hmm. So it's all of that. It's really a remarkable group of people that can do remarkable things very quickly.
We are based in Connecticut. Are you based in Connecticut, and do you play throughout the state?
Well, the orchestra is still based on New Britain. That's our primary address, and we're actually going to be bringing Carmen to New Britain before we bring it to New London. So we are very connected to our community. We perform for schools. We're going to be bringing Carmen to New Britain schools. We'll be bringing some opera performances to New London schools at some point. Being an artist is a vocation, but we also have to realize that we also serve the society, mm-hmm. and we do not exist in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm. My thought is, why don't we talk a bit about what the performances that are bringing you and Rebecca together? Is it Carmen you were mentioning?
Well, Rebecca grew up over the several years. She sang smaller roles before, and then there came that point at which we all realized, me and my colleagues, some of them, that she might be ready for the big role. Of course, she had done the role of Carmen before, which is very good. But one moment, if I can recall, in our previous production of the same title several years ago, she substituted for a moment for a girl that sang the Carmen, but she was absent for whatever reason in that rehearsal. And we all saw something there that was quite remarkable. Carmen is a difficult role because you have to be you have to be dramatic, but you have to be also intelligently dramatic. In other words, you cannot just go for it. It's a multifaceted role. It has its own tension and resolution and its own story, and you have to be able to present it. At the same time, it is the role that is very unique. This is not a case of an innocent girl being caught in between some situation, which is probably the most common for the female roles in opera. It's usually somebody around them is messing things up. Now here, she is the one messing things up, and this is it's a very sexual role, really, in the sense that it exploits those emotions between men and women. And we have to see it, but it has to be done very tastefully. We have to connect with this, but it cannot be offensive. So it is a very difficult role to balance. And I think Rebecca, in my view, was ready for it.
Okay, Adrian and Rebecca, we're going to take a break right now, so let's hold that thought, okay?
Thank you.
I'm Deborah Gilbert. You tuned into Arts and Entertainment. We are going to take a break. We'll be right back.
A contractor leaves a pamphlet or shows up at the door. They claim they've been doing work in the area and have extra paving supplies and just happen to notice the condition of your driveway or sidewalk. Since they're already working nearby, they can give you a discount. If the price is agreeable, they will ask for a large percentage of the fee up front. There is some hesitancy if you ask questions about the price or details about the business and its location. Once the transaction is complete, the scam contractor may disappear altogether. The contact number or email may not work, quickly helping you realize the contact information was a sham. If you protest, the contractor may use intimidation tactics such as threatening a lawsuit to convince you to pay. Be wary of anyone who calls, texts, or shows up at your door unsolicited. Always take time to do research, talk to references, and seek advice from trusted family or friends. If the company won't give you time to do this and pressures you to make a quick decision, it's likely a scam. Get everything in writing and pay for the project in stages as work is complete. Find a trusted contractor at bbb.org and report scams to bbb.org/scamtracker.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's great to have you. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're talking about the Connecticut Virtuosi Chamber Orchestra, and I hope you're enjoying this as I am. Rebecca, before we had gone to break, what I wanted to do is talk to you. We probably have many viewers that are interested in being an opera singer. Mm-hmm. What would your advice be to them as to how to get started? What's it like living it like that?
That's a multi-layer answer. Most importantly, I do believe that if you are passionate about it, for whatever you are passionate about, doesn't matter if it's opera or something else, we all should find time and space to devote ourselves to where our passion lies. For those who want to be involved in singing classically, you have to have vocal technique, so you have to find a very good fit of a voice teacher for you, and you need to learn what are the roles that fit your voice the best. You need to learn acting, you need to learn pronunciation of languages, you need to, in fact, you have to be very precise with it. That's ideally. So and you need to learn about the plot. Sometimes you need to read the books upon which the opera was written. Some of them have stories, and the more you gather knowledge, the more it will show on your performance. So, but most importantly, have a very good vocal coach or vocal technician, I like to call.
Now you're in performance now with the orchestra. Do you have plans moving on in 26 or 2027, things that you look forward to, or even things that you do when you're not performing with the orchestra?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, a part of being an artist is to be and to thrive in keeping up with your art, if you want to, is to be able to wear many hats. For most of us, like myself, like I teach. I have a private studio. I teach piano and voice. I teach at a school. I have a music director position where I play organ, conduct the choir, which I love. So like I try to immerse myself in music in different directions, and that all is a foundation also for me to do even a better job as a professional singer and professional player. Does that answer your question?
Unless you want to add anything else.
I think that's, oh, and the plans that I have. So I'm going to be singing Rosina in Barbara of Seville in October. I'm going to be going to South America to do that.
Oh,
so I'm very excited about it. It's another role that I'm in love with. Another lady who has the wits and is not very passive in the story. So I really like her. And probably by the end of the year, I'm going to be doing, I have some lined up, Bach's Magnificat, Handel's Messiah, so that all is part of my life as a singing professional, as well as my other roles.
Wonderful. Adrian, I want to touch base on the website. thevirtuosi.org. What will the viewer find when they go there?
Well, they can learn a lot about us. There is, of course, everything about what's coming up. Carmen is actually our last project of this season, but we have summer programming. We are going to Italy to do Marriage of Figaro. Then we're coming back here to do a summer Music Institute. It's a program with our younger students, so we'll be doing a lot of fine, simpler but equally beautiful music with younger students, and some vocal elements will be included with this as well. And then the new season will start in September, and we sort of announced it in our program, but it's not on the website yet, but it will be there shortly. But it's a rich year of events. So that's that. But also you can see our history, you can see who is involved, you can meet our musicians, the regular website stuff, I guess.
And Adrian, I'll also ask you the question about being a conductor. What would your recommendations be to an individual that would like to be a conductor or is on that path? What would you recommend them to do to become one?
The path carries a lot of humility to it. In other words, the more you do, the more you realize how little you know. Because music, and that's not my quote, that's actually Maria Callas, is so enormous that you always will find yourself in the space, in the intellectual space that is new for you. And you have to, first of all, you have to be curious to learn. That is the key. If that scares you, don't do it. Don't go into conducting, because you're going to be looking at scores and sort of codes, if you wish, that nobody had seen before. And you have to learn these things very quickly sometimes. Sometimes, life throws interesting things at you. So it's a humility and patience, and sort of, you have to be also in peace with the intensity of a lifestyle that is not common. You don't come home and turn the TV on and have an afternoon off. That just doesn't happen.
Rebecca, is opera your love and your passion, or do you like to do other things?
It's one of my love and my passion.
One of them. Okay, so
Yeah.
you really are multifaceted.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
to an extent, and I was lucky enough to be able to find the things that I love and nourish them. But opera is one of them. I love sacred music. Opera is a very primal thing for me. Like, it feels very earthly, very grounding, very humane. There's so much humanity. Actually, that's all it is. There's the exacerbation of all emotions and all that humans are and do. That's opera. But sacred music is where I feel like I am more elevated and connecting to the creator and connected to everyone else in a not so humane way. Let's just put it that way.
Now, coming from a piano background into a singing, doing them both, but as to a singing background, how did they find you? You're saying they found you in church. What happened?
Oh, yes. So I thank you, St. James Choir and Episcopal Church in Farmington. They needed a section leader for the alto section, and my friend who was a music director there and knew that I couldn't play at the time and knew that I was going through these very stressful, dark, difficult path of not knowing that I could even heal myself. And he suggests, oh, well, maybe you can join the choir and be a section leader because you read music, you can play. Right now you can't, but you could, you know what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. And then they welcomed me with such warmth, such love, and it was the seed that was planted for me to like start singing. And they were all like, you have such a gorgeous voice, you sound like an angel. And I'm like, well, no, like I was very much into, I prefer hiding myself behind the piano. You know, I don't need to look people in the eye, I don't need to have a lot of interactions. It was a much safer space for me. But inside that choir, I was able to really bloom into being more comfortable singing, and that led to me joining the chorus for Madame Butterfly and other things. So it was just happening. It started happening.
Adrienne, the individual that would like to be able to present themselves to you at the orchestra, a performer, what are your thoughts as to how they can do that?
Well, from most practical point of view, we always are looking for people who have something to offer on the vocal side. Well, I would say just making yourself known. It's tricky, I have to say, because on one hand we are looking for people, on the other hand we do have a group of people that we work with. So there has to be certain element of persuasion, and it's not just, okay, I can sing, hire me. That doesn't work that way. You have to be ready, you have to know the role. Like for this production, everybody who came to rehearsals, they were, we call it off book, which means they are ready to perform on day one, and whether we're gonna fine tune one scene this way or that way, it doesn't really matter, because we are ready from day one. So there's that level of preparation that we're looking for. On the instrumental side, on the orchestra side, well, the first thing I'm looking for, apart from obvious technical abilities, is the ability to work within the team, within the group. And that also applies to the opera as well, but in the orchestra it's a little bit more pronounced, because we're gonna be playing, you know, in this case, the opera for quite a few times. Everybody in that pit has to work towards the same goal, and I'm looking for that quality before anything else. So if I have two people that are equally good, I would choose the one that is obviously more reliable as a team player, even if the other one might be slightly better. But at the end, the result as a teamwork is very important. I mean, everybody is welcome to send information. The contact information is public, so I'm not going to comment on that. But these are the sort of thoughts that I would share with the interested parties.
Okay, well, we have run out of time. So Adrian and Rebecca, thank you both so much for being here. It's a pleasure and continued success.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Deborah Gilbert. You tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at dgilbert777@hotmail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day today. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.